Big thanks to Storyblocks Audio for sponsoring this video. Stay tuned to the end to hear more about this great service. So what goes into making the perfect Halloween playlist, you might ask? Everybody does something a little different. A lot of people usually just go for those hour-long ambient haunted house type of soundscapes, which is boring, to be honest. Others might go for something like this.
Look! A spooky ghost, spooky ghost,
which is downright terrifying. And I don't know, maybe you'll just throw on the 2006 animated classic Monster House and turn the volume on as loud as you can.
I paid $28 for that ball.
But for me, I want to take a look at a few of the best examples of Halloween-related music throughout time, whether it's a fun song relevant to the holiday, or a creepy, visceral score that makes you want to lock your doors. This, in my opinion at least, is how to make the perfect Halloween playlist. So whether you're hosting a party with friends, or you're just passing out candy to trick-or-treaters, let's jump into it. Let's get some of the obvious choices out of the way. The first that comes to mind for me is Michael Jackson's 1982 hit Thriller from the album of the same name. This is a perfect choice because it blends so many different aspects of what makes a good quote-unquote Halloween song. It's fun, everybody knows the iconic dance that goes with the song, it's legitimately a great track with or without the context of Halloween, it has a groovy bass line, Jackson's killer vocals, and more. And finally, it's creepy. Within the song, we get sound effects like a creaking door, thunder, howling dogs, etc. Next, I want to go for another pop culture landmark, the Ghostbusters theme song. A little less creepy and a little more fun, this was obviously created for the 1984 comedy classic Ghostbusters. While Elmer Bernstein composed the movie, Ray Parker Jr. was tasked with creating the theme song. The legend is that producers originally approached Fleetwood Mac guitarist and vocalist Lindsey Buckingham for the job, but he declined, so they eventually got in contact with Ray Parker Jr., who was only given a few days to make the song. After struggling for a while, he saw an infomercial on TV which gave him the idea of creating a little jingle for the business within the film. Parker got to work on the track, and the rest is history.
Who you gonna call?
Now we're going to take a bit of a left turn. We're going from fun to creepy, memorable lyrics to no lyrics at all, and we have one of the most unforgettable, suspenseful, anxiety-inducing theme songs ever, the main theme from one of my all-time favorite horror movies, 1978's Halloween. So here's a little fun fact. Halloween doesn't have a symphonic soundtrack. The film's score is just a piano melody created by the film's director, John Carpenter. And it's a pretty simple, unsophisticated little tune, but it's so effective. It took Carpenter only 3 days to score the entire movie with this piano melody, and for me, Halloween's music is one of its biggest assets. It's a haunting reminder, at least within the film, that the boogeyman never truly goes away. If that was too scary for everybody, let's go outside the box with something that's probably a little less associated with Halloween. Well, the holiday I mean, not the movie. I specify this because Blue Oyster Cult's 1976 hit song, Don't Fear the Reaper, is actually one of the only songs featured in the movie Halloween. And yes, laugh it up, I'm featuring the cowbell song in my Halloween playlist. But honestly, I feel like it adds something really interesting to this list. I don't think it's inherently scary on first listen, but once you've heard the song a few times, I think there's something pretty ominous about it. Obviously, any song discussing the Grim Reaper and death will probably be creepy to some degree, but the intro of the song with that famous guitar riff and the first verse all combine to create something really unsettling for me. It feels uncomfortable, like I'm being watched, all within some kind of purgatory.
all of times have come.
That's a couple of creepy songs in a row, so now something that's pure fun. Warren Zevon's 1978 hit Werewolves of London is an iconic choice for any Halloween playlist. Zevon was working with Phil Everly of the Everly Brothers when he was jokingly challenged to adapt a song based on the 1935 film Werewolf of London. Everybody in the studio played along for a little bit, and then they eventually realized that they might be onto something. It's a simple 3-chord progression all the way throughout the song, but it's easily one of the most infectious tracks I can possibly think of. As soon as I hear the opening piano, the backing guitar, and that goofy first line, I need to listen to the track all the way through.
I saw a werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand.
There are plenty of other songs that fit this same kind of mold that will work well within this playlist. Songs that don't really sound scary, you're not creeped out by listening to them, but they have something that puts you in the Halloween spirit. It could be a song about the supernatural, like Stevie Wonder's Superstition. Bad Moon Rising by Creedence Clearwater Revival immediately makes me think of An American Werewolf in London. And nothing says oddly uncomfortable yet kind of fun like Psycho Killer by Talking Heads. But so far, I feel like I've been leaning way too heavy on classics within this playlist. What relatively new songs could we add that fit some of the same categories that we've already gone over? One of the easiest examples that comes to mind would fall in the category of talks about Halloween related stuff, but isn't actually a scary song by any means. Like pretty much all of the songs that I mentioned before, this track was a huge commercial success. The song features some of the biggest rappers of all time, it's on one of the best critically reviewed albums of the past decade, and one of the verses literally begins by just listing off some spooky stuff. Did anything come to mind?
I'm in a tanka, color a Willy Wonka. You could be the king, but watch the queen conquer. First things first, I'll eat you.
But what could be a good addition in the same vein as John Carpenter's Halloween theme? Over the last few years, has there been a memorable, immersive score relevant to the horror genre? What if I told you that there was, and the composers were actually paying homage to John Carpenter with this given score? Got anything? How about now? The theme song to Stranger Things has been everywhere for the last few years. With the huge popularity of the show, that's bound to happen, but I've definitely noticed how proud the show is of its signature sound. Michael Stein and Kyle Dixon from the electronic band Survive were the ones that composed the theme for the show. They used a ton of synthesizers to help capture the 80s aesthetic of the setting. It helps create a creepy, intriguing mood, and it's a great addition to our playlist. And then to fill out the rest of my Halloween playlist, let's mix and match some of the categories that we've gone over so far. An important film-related addition would be This Is Halloween, Danny Elfman's classic song from The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Boys and girls of every age, wouldn't you like to see something strange?
Rihanna's Disturbia is a good 21st century edition with a couple of spooky themes.
Disturbia, it's like the darkness is light. Disturbia.
And if we're really stretching the limits, what about Howlin' for You by the Black Keys? Cause like howlin', you know?
Baby, I'm howling for you.
To finish things off, I can't leave this one out. The definitive Halloween song, the absolute definition of what a one-off novelty song should be. Bobby Pickett's Monster Mash is iconic. This is a goofy, ridiculous song about a mad scientist hanging out with monsters and trying out some new dance moves, and it was #1 on the Billboard charts. Granted, it was the week before Halloween, but still, that is nuts.
He did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash.
And so that's my little Halloween playlist. I'm sure there's more that could go in there, but I'll leave that job to all of you. Use some of the categories that I talked about in this video and either add to this playlist or make your own entirely. Happy Halloween, everybody! And now I want to talk about today's sponsor, Storyblocks Audio. Storyblocks Audio is your one-stop shop for royalty-free stock audio. Their unlimited member library provides all the music, sound effects, and loops. You can download content more than once with an active subscription, and anything you download is yours to keep and use forever. Within my channel, it's always so tough finding the right background music that I want to use for my videos. Also, I've been wanting to spice things up a little bit, throw in sound effects here and there, and Storyblocks Audio has been a huge help for both of those problems. Finding good quality, relevant music can be hard enough on its own, but then on top of that, licensing that music can be incredibly expensive. So now that I'm using Storyblocks Audio, I'm happier than ever. The website is really easy to navigate, a membership gets you unlimited downloads, and all the background music and sound effects that you heard in this video came straight from Storyblocks Audio. Click on the link in the description below to learn more about Storyblocks Audio. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. Remember to like and subscribe if you want more videos like this. If you want to follow my social media, the links are down below. You can also donate to my Patreon, help the show, and get some cool rewards if you click the link on the screen. And I sell merch at tpublic.com/user/alfomedia. Thanks for watching, and always forward.